Okay, I am live again. Hi, Akira. 1 second. Yes, I can see the chat now. What can I do for you, Akira? Do you have a question? Hi, Alex. Do you have a question? Are you still here? Ah, okay. Well, that makes sense. Let's see if I can figure out how to do that. Okay, you are now a moderator. Hold on a second. During all of this, I lost my feed to PayPal. That's better. Okay, I'm back. And it looks like it's just the two of us. I can never tell whether or not the number of people listed in the chat includes me or not. Sometimes it seems to, and sometimes it doesn't. If it includes me, it's just the two of us. If it doesn't include me, then there's somebody else here. And Lord only knows how long we've got to wait. I have been on here during like Christmas Day and New Year's Day. I was on here and it was swamped with people. But there's a lot of people at home not doing anything on those days, so I don't know about today. Hi, Tutu. Do you have a question? Can I pull a card for you? Well, not all free, but I'll do one card pulls for free, and if we're not very busy, and maybe I'll do 3. What's on your mind, Tutu? So let me make sure that I understand. Are you currently dating with him, or you're looking to know if there's any future beyond the dating? I see. Okay. I get the inverted Six of Cups. Now, if it were right side up, that would mean that he is willing to give you more than just dating, and he wants to give you more than just dating. But the fact that it's upside down suggests that something is holding him back. So I will pull another card and ask what's holding him back. And I get the Nine of Swords. It suggests that he's afraid. Um, Let me see what he's afraid of. I get the inverted Queen of Pentacles. That suggests that he is afraid of somebody else's reaction, like an older woman, possibly his mother, or something like that. Like maybe he has family pressure where that makes him sort of afraid. Does that make any sort of sense to you? Ah, well, then it could just be that he doesn't want to give up the other woman. Let me ask about that. Get the Ace of Swords. It suggests that in his mind, he thinks that maybe he can have both of you, and that he's afraid that if he makes a commitment to you, like I said with the first card, it looked like he wants to make a commitment to you, but I think he's afraid of losing something that he gets from the other woman too. So although it doesn't look like there's any change coming like in the nearby future, I'll ask if there's anything that you can do to maybe convince him to make that commitment. I get the inverted Ace of Wands. That suggests that it's if you stick in there and focus your will on him, you really devote everything that you've got to getting him, that you probably can. The question that I would have for you is, do you think he's worth that sort of effort, though? If he's already doing a triangle thing, putting that sort of effort into getting him, maybe if you put that much effort into finding somebody else, you might find somebody who is not afraid of losing his other woman too. Does that make any sense? In any event, it doesn't look like it will be easy. It looks like it looks like a lot of work. You're more than welcome. Thank you for coming by. Well, all I see is three. That's me and you and Tutu. Oh, thank you for the flowers, Tutu. All of my subscribers should automatically see that we're here too. Of course, I've only got 15 and only one of those actually seems to pay attention. But like I said, there have been days when I've been on here before when people start showing up like crazy. Like, you know, people are out there searching for free tarot readings. But it might depend on the time of day or the day of the week. I don't know. I don't really do this as much as I should. Thank you very much, Tutu. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, well, I'll believe that, Alex, when when I see evidence that you've actually learned something. I'm just teasing you. Right now, I'm learning from you. Oh, what's that? Okay, don't tell me what you learned then. Hi, Min. Yes. What's your question? Well, that's actually two questions, but we're not very busy today. So, how did he feel when he saw you? I get the inverted Ace of Pentacles. Um, Inverted doesn't necessarily mean bad, but it means it's less than what it normally would be. Um, the Ace of Pentacles says to me that he was attracted to you, maybe not as attracted as you'd like. And by attracted, I mean physically attracted. Why did he text you? I get the Eight of Swords. Uh, that suggests to me that given the question, that he's thinking about you, but he's unsure. He's confused about why he's thinking about you. So he wants to talk to you and see whether he can get to know more about you. I can pull you a card, Bethany. A general reading, the way I think of it, it would be in several cards, quite a few, like a Celtic Cross or something. And for that, I'm asking for a donation of $21, although I will pull a card for you for free just because, that's what I'm doing here at the moment. Um, Thank you, Bethany. Um, a card that I get for a general reading for you is the Knight of Swords inverted. And I'm going to have to do another card for that just to see an idea for that. And I get Temperance. Um, I get the impression that there is either somebody who's just come into your life or about to come into your life, a man who seems to be very, very smart, but isn't really as smart as he seems to be, but that you have various reasons for taking things slowly and being very careful. Does that make any sense? You're welcome, Min. Glad to be of assistance. If you'd like more detail and want to go into more detail on these things, down below I put my email address. Feel free to call and arrange a more detailed reading. Yeah, bad past. That's always a real tough one. I mean, that makes it very hard to treat people, especially people who are really gung ho and who maybe aren't all that they seem to be. Although I don't get the impression that he is deceiving you as much as he maybe has a higher opinion of himself than maybe a humble person would. Yeah, I can understand that, Bethany. My wife was abused as a child, and we dated for like 3 years before we got married, and we've been married for 31 years now. But that doesn't mean we don't have to take just about every little detail slow because of some of the hard times she had. But the encouraging thing should be that everything is possible for you regardless of that, and there's nothing wrong with taking it slow. Thanks, man. Hey, Akira, can you see like the messages that I put below about prices for different kinds of readings and my email address and that kind of thing? I don't see the bottom of the screen here. Excellent. Thank you. Oh, we're up to 7 people. Anybody else got a question? I will ask for you there. How do you say your name? It's Celsia? It's Celsia? Let me just give it a couple of shuffles. Okay, it's Celsia. I see the Three of Wands. It suggests to me that your other person does still love you. However, they're waiting for something. Um, and they're willing to wait for a long time. Let me pull you another card. It's the Lovers. Um, I think that they're looking probably to see. I get the impression that they're waiting to see whether or not a sexual aspect to the relationship um, does something for them. But I could be wrong. It could be that they're about the home because um, I'm thinking Cancer, not Pisces. Pisces, no, it's probably the sex thing. Pisces are very physical. So I think that there's something about the sexual aspect of the relationship that the person is waiting to click um, before they're willing to make a commit. However, I do think that there's love there and that the person's just waiting for that one more piece to fall into place. I don't know if you have any ideas about that, if that resonates with you at all, or if you can add a piece to the puzzle there. So that might be it then. The person is maybe waiting for a time when the two of you can actually be physically together. That but I do get the three of wands suggests that the person that he's waiting and that he's patient. So I think you're on good ground. I think that the two of you need to be working on how you can be closer to each other physically. By which I mean proximity in the same city or whatever the case may be. Um, Hi, Shrey. Welcome aboard. Do you have a question for the cards? Oh, another thing. It's Alessia. The fact that you've never met in person and that he's waiting. One of the problems I think is his waiting. He's not taking action. He's expecting something to just happen. I think it's one of those deals where either you've got to make it happen where you're somehow together or give up because he's content to wait for you to be together rather than to go out and somehow make you be together, if that makes sense. Trey, one with car trunk open in yellow shirt. What will CJS Pele's reaction to my new Instagram post? One with car open in yellow shirt. What will the reaction be? I get the 10 of coins inverted, Shrey. Normally, that would be a card that is just a very happy sort of, I really love everything that's going on kind of answer. The fact that it's inverted means that it gives Sejal pause, like he's hesitant, like or she's hesitant, or whatever the case may be, like the person was real happy with you and things were real good, but that this is making the person think twice. I don't know if that makes any sense. Sure. I get the Eight of Wands, which is a message. I suspect that the person is going to send you a message soon about it. I also get the inverted Queen of Swords. If this person is a woman, I suspect that it might be that just intellectually she has a problem with understanding what exactly your post means to her in particular. Yeah, I think that the post just confuses her in some way, but that she's forthright enough that she's going to ask for a clarification. Hi, Josie. Sure. Normally, when I see general reading, I think you mean something like, well, you might have to explain that to her, Shrey, or she's going to ask. Um, anyway, Josie, yeah, normally when I think of general reading, I think something like a Celtic Cross, which normally I charge for, but I'll pull you a couple of cards and see if anything interesting comes up. I get the Fool, which suggests to me that you're currently going through a period when things are being disrupted, like the normal routine of events isn't happening normally. Things are just happening that are unexpected. Um, and I get the Knight of Swords, which we already got on a general reading for somebody today. It suggests that there's somebody about to come into your life who is a smart man and an energetic man, and I get the Chariot, which suggests to me that that person is actually going to bring some stability to things, calm things down a bit. Although he'll be a man who's kind of a man of action himself. It's actually going to calm things down in your life for a while. Don't know if that makes any sense or if you see anything to confirm anything like that. And hello, Prabha, and hello, Penguin. I'm glad it's a good thing, Josie. Hi, Penguin. Well, thank you for subscribing. So, is Pisces thinking about you? I get the Four of Wands, which suggests to me that Pisces is more interested in partying right now, and is only thinking about you if it's involved in having a good time, celebrating. Um, I get the Hanged Man, which suggests that if she isn't talking to you, it's because she doesn't think you're any fun, and she's looking for having a good time and having a party. I don't know if that fits with what your experiences with her already are. Maybe she's not talking to you then, Penguin, because she's just too busy out there looking to have a good time and isn't, you know, sitting there ready to just exchange things. Let me pull one more card for you, Penguin. I get the Empress. I suggest that it might be temporary, that over time. The Empress is a very affectionate card, and it's a very creative card. I suggest that the way to get more attention might be through creativity. Like if your conversation or your texts or your phone calls or whatever capture her imagination, that the way to get her to respond is through use of your imagination. Again, I don't know if that resonates with you or makes any sense to you. Prabha, should you end your relationship with A, and are you planning to talk? And you're planning to talk to him this weekend? Should you end your relationship? Okay, first of all, Prabha, let me tell you that a question like "Should I end my relationship?" is not a particularly good question, because should according to who? Should according to you? Should according to A? Should according to the cards? Should according to me? It's more. It should be more about um, what what about the relationship would make you want to. Nonetheless, what I get is the Two of Cups inverted. I've been getting an awful lot of inverted cards today. I know I don't have the deck upside down. That's a good thing. The upright, that would suggest love. Normally, I would say that inverted means less love. Um, so, according to the cards, at least, there isn't as much love there as there used to be. Hi, Sabrina. Um, I pull the Magician. That says to me that you could salvage it if you wanted to. Um, you could maybe revive that love. It's not dead or completely gone, but it's less than it used to be. And so it's really a question of how much work you want to do to revive it, and how much work that person is willing to do to revive it. So it comes down to what you want. If you want to put in the work, there's a chance, but it's cooling down, and if you don't think it's worth the work, then maybe you should. Where are we? Hey, Akira, do you know who's next? I see Sabrina asking something, and I don't know if there was somebody before her. Wannabe pro soccer player. Hello. I think Sabrina's next. What's your question, Sabrina? You're welcome, Prabha. I hope it helps. What's next for you in love? Why, thank you, Secretary. Sabrina asks, what's next in love? I see the Three of Coins, which is hard work, and I don't know if you currently have a relationship. If you do currently have a relationship, it suggests that what's next is building it, working it. Um, but it suggests that the work will pay off. If you don't currently have a relationship, I would say that this means that now comes the time where, um, in order to get love, you're going to have to do some work at it. You're going to have to be looking out for it. You're going to have to be looking at who's around you and see who might not be somebody who sweeps you off your feet, but who is actually a good person, that maybe you haven't noticed before. I'll pull another one for you, Sabrina, and I get the Page of Pentacles, which suggests a young woman. That's traditional. I don't. If you're a woman, I don't know if you're straight or not. Um, if if you're straight, it suggests a young man who looks who seems to be not a manly man, but more of an emotional kind of guy. If you're gay, then it suggests a young woman, and the person is physical. A lot of touchy feely, huggy, kissy kind of stuff. I see that coming up, but they're both pentacles. It suggests that you're going to have to keep an eye out for this person, that they're not going to necessarily approach you, but if you spot this person and do the work, it looks like it could be interesting. One more card, the Sun. Looks like it could be really interesting. It looks like it could be an amazing relationship, provided you spot the person and do the work, if that makes any sense at all to you. Hi, Denise. Peace and blessings to you, too. Yes, you may be added to the list. And Soccer, you're up. I don't remember what your question is. Let me scroll up, unless you want to post it again. What was your question, Soccer? I don't see where it was. If you're actually still here. You're welcome, Sabrina. How can you attract S? Let me give a couple shuffles here. I get the Three of Hearts, which suggests that S has a broken heart. So I almost suggest that you want to be sympathetic to S, and it looks to me like she's already got a broken heart from something else, like something is causing her a great deal of pain. So what she needs right now might be sympathy and somebody to talk to. And there's a danger there of falling into the friend zone, I know. We get the King of Pentacles, and it suggests just trying to anticipate her needs, or his needs, or her needs. You said her. Trying to anticipate her needs and be available to her. Giving her the things that she needs in order to feel better about whatever is going on in her heart at the moment, which looks bad. I'll do one more look at that, and I get the High Priestess. It suggests to me that she's got a because of you. That's an interesting question. I get the normally I wouldn't skip a card like that, but I think that's the important question. I get the Seven of Wands, and it suggests to me that there has been a fight lately, and that you've been maybe more aggressive. And Cancer Girl makes a certain amount of sense with the High Priestess. The High Priestess is the moon, and the moon rules the sign Cancer. It suggests to me that she sees your relationship with Cancer Girl as an attack on her, and she is not over it. She's heartbroken. I get the Lovers, which suggests to me that you can win her back. However, you're going to need to, like I said, meet her needs, be patient, give her the things that she needs, make her kind of the center of the world, or all she's going to be thinking about is Cancer Girl. Yeah, that's Kira's right. In-depth readings. I've got contact information below. Feel free to hire me for that. And I don't want to miss Denise's question. Denise's question is Brad's current feelings for me. Let me shuffle a couple of times there, Denise. Okay, Denise, I get the inverted 7 of coins. Denise, I think that Brad feels that he has put a lot of work into the relationship, and he's very passionate about the relationship. He's very passionate about the physical aspects of the relationship. That he wants intimacy, and he thinks he's done what he needs to do in order to have reached that level, and that he might be beginning to pull back because that hasn't been what he expects. Um, does that make any sense to you at all? Let me know if I'm completely on the wrong track. Okay. Now, whether or not you want to meet his expectations is another story. You're a person with free will and your own timetable and your own schedule and your own feelings, and just because he thinks he's put the work in, and just because that's what he's want doesn't mean that you need to be concerned about that even a little bit. I mean, those cards only suggest the physical thing. They're none of those cards jumped out and said great emotion or great intellectual connection. You are on the same page. Well, that's a wonderful thing. Um, if the reading list is now empty, then I will pull another card and see if the card has any suggestion for how you would initiate it. I get the Knight of Cups, and suddenly emotion is there. Um, it seems to me like really it's a matter of telling him how you feel and that you're on the same page. Um, that the best initiation for you is to just tell him how you feel. The irony. Explain. Yeah, I guess maybe the thing that's blocking is the needing to initiate a physical relationship, and the emotion's already there. Um, it top of his mind is the physical thing, but the emotion is there, um, and it's time to express it. It's time to talk about it. It's time to say it. It's time to take action. Nights are about action. He should be the one doing it, but if you want it, you should be doing it too. Cool. Sure thing, Nana. Do you have a question? the Two of Coins inverted. Your soulmate's first impression of you is that you have a complicated life, that you're juggling a lot of things, and that your head is in the clouds, that your mind is always somewhere else. Don't know if that makes any sense to you, Nana. Hello, Shame. Is it Shime? Chime or Shime? Thank you very much. Is there anything that I can... Do you have a question for the cards? I'm glad to hear it, Nana. Makes me feel like I know what I'm doing. Shema. Gotcha. Thank you for helping with that. I don't want to pronounce your name wrong. Does Lucas still have feelings for you? You're apart, and you want to know if he still likes you. I get the inverted Five of Swords. It suggests to me that while you're apart, he's probably looking at other people. I hate to say things like that. I'm going to pull another one to see feelings still for you, and I get the King of Wands inverted. I hate to say it, but it does look to me like he probably is focused on somebody else right now. Oh, that's not a horrible thing. That's good. I just hate to say things like that, especially to new subscribers. Well, there you go. I think we're only going to go about 10 minutes more, so if anyone wants to get something else in before the 10 minutes, the 10-minute mark, please shout out now. Well, we're down to 3 people, and that's me and you, Alex, and one other person. See, you tell somebody their significant other's looking at somebody else, and everybody goes away. Well, that's not my personal best, but it's not bad. Of course, I don't have any emails to set up in-depth readings and no donations. But, you know, I was enjoying it. I'd probably stand another hour, but sometimes my wife calls me to dinner an hour early, and in 10 minutes we'll be falling into that range of time. Did you, Alex, you said that you wanted to do one before it ends. Do you want to do it now? We're the only two people here as far as I can tell. My indicator of people in the chat room is now down to 2. Do you have a question, or should I just pull a card? You've been a very good moderator, by the way. Oh, I got 9 likes. I know one of those is you. So out of 11 readings, only 2 didn't like. I don't know what sharing your best means. Oh, somebody else is here. Hello, whoever just entered the room. Do you want me to pull a card for you? Do you have a question? Next time I do this, I probably will be doing it on Facebook. I try to go back and forth between them. Thank you, Denise. That's very sweet of you. I appreciate it. That's very nice of you. Oh, that was enough. Like, I would have probably done a whole Celtic Cross for you for that much. You know, Denise, if you're willing to spend that much for what we did here, and I'm willing to do a Celtic Cross for that much, you should really get my email address below, and we could set up for me to do an actual, in-depth reading for that amount for you. A Celtic Cross is like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's like between a 10 and 12 card spread, where we look at things in a more detail than we ever could in like a chat room like this. But for the same amount that you donated to me, I could do that for you. You could talk to me an email. We can set up a time. I can either email you stuff. I think it's better if we actually go back and forth and are able to talk about it. I can do video chats. I've got Zoom, Facebook, here even. Think about it. My email address is below. Write to me and we can talk about it. Tiana, you're an Aquarius. Does the Libra I'm not in communication with plan to reach out to me? Well, speaking as a Libra, I really like Aquariuses myself. But let's see what the cards have to say. I get the Judgment card. It suggests to me that the Libra is in the process of evaluating you at the moment. As a Libra myself, I know we do that a lot. We want to see the big picture. We want to know every little detail and do a full analysis. And it looks to me like you're still in that stage, that the Libra is still trying to figure it out. I also get the impression, the Three of Swords, that the Libra has been hurt before, and that's going to be problematic as far as this person reaching out. You might have to be the one to reach out in order to be some help to this person in overcoming what's hurt them in the past, if that makes any sense. Yeah, okay. Well, let's do a Celtic Cross now, because you're going to be talking to Brad soon, Denise. So, Denise, as a card that I pull to represent you, I get the Seven of Coins, which suggests that you're working hard at this, that you're putting a lot of thought into it, and you expect now to be starting to, reap what you've sown. What you're showing the world is the world. That suggests that what Brad sees right now is that you are an altogether with it kind of person who is in command of her own destiny. Now, you can say whether or not that's true. This card isn't saying that that's true. This card is saying that it's what Brad sees. He sees somebody who's got a lot going on. The problem is the Ace of Coins. This blocks you. It's over you. You can't see the cards as I'm laying them out. But like you're on the bottom, and what you're showing the world, or what you're showing Brad, is on top. And the Ace of Coins is covering you. It's blocking you. It lays across your path. And coins can go either way. Coins could be like coins is physical, so it could be sex, it could be money, it could be the way you look to each other. The Ace of Coins is all of that. So it suggests that he thinks, or you think, that there's a problem when it comes to money, there's a problem when it comes to sex. You've got blockages coming from all of the mundane aspects of your relationship that everybody sort of has problems with at some time. The best you can arrive at in this relationship is the Nine of Coins. Or I'm sorry, the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups is very emotional. However, and the nine is a lot. There's a lot of emotion there. But if you look at the way the figure is sitting, his back is to it and he's close to it. It looks to me like one or both of you aren't looking at that emotion right now, and you're trying not to feel it. And it's probably because of whatever this is, whether it's money or sex or just the day-to-day grind of working or going to school or whatever you do every day. Whatever this is, whatever this everyday mundane physical thing is, whether it's sex, money, or your daily lives, it's making you not want to look at the emotion. Like you're expecting something physical to go right, and you're both ignoring the emotion. But the emotion is there, and you can get to that emotion so long as you realize that that emotion is important. That doesn't mean the physical stuff isn't important. It means you may have to make a decision whether or not you need to go with one or the other. It doesn't look like right away, at least, or even necessarily long term, the emotion and the physical are necessarily going to be in sync. You might have a permanent dysfunction there. Did you tell me what your sign is and what his sign is? That would be maybe helpful to know at this point. Sign of the zodiac. Yours and his. So you are a water sign. He's a water sign too, but that's interesting in that Aquarius is very individual. You sort of want things your way, and you sort of want them now. Whereas he wants to keep things lower key. He's got a much deeper sort of sexual kink thing there, though. You're open-minded and you're experimental, but he's serious about that kind of stuff. So when it comes to the whole that whole sexual aspect of things, he's got expectations, and you might be willing to experiment with them, but not necessarily on the level that he is going to be expecting, probably for a very long time to come. At your feet is temperance, and that's what you have to help to boost up the relationship, to get to the point where you begin to realize that maybe the emotion is more important than the physical for him and for you. It's major arcana. Major arcana is spiritual to some extent. It's what is beyond you, and it suggests that furniture. Well, then that I'm going on the signs of the zodiac here, but the card could be something as mundane as that. Maybe my own mind is too dirty here. It could actually really be just that physical, mundane sort of thing. It really could. It could just be that he expects that if you're going to be a couple, that what's his is yours and what yours is his, and that you're being too much of an individual for that. That makes sense of the doing your own thing. That makes sense with the Aquarius Scorpio thing too. Scorpios are intense. When a Scorpio has a belief about something, they are intense about it. And if it's about a relationship, then he probably is intense about the shared thing. This is the important factor in the emotion. This is astrologically, this would be Sagittarius, and that would be Sagittarius is about exploration of things scientific and philosophical, and it suggests to me that if you're having a disconnect on a basic level, that you might need to spend more time talking about your beliefs. What do you believe? Explain to him what you believe. Ask him what he believes. Go to like a deeper level, looking for that sort of depth. Like you're an individual, you're an Aquarius, you want to do what you want to do. Explain to him what that means to you, what that experience means to you, how important it is to you, and listen to him when he talks about wanting to take care of you and why that's important to him. This is also about trial and error. You have to, if you're going to stay together, the work involves experimentation. Let's try this. Okay, it didn't work. Let's try that. Okay, it didn't work. But it means turning pages and doing new things and trying different approaches. It isn't about giving up. It's about the trial and error. And that can hurt. Trial and error can hurt. I mean, you say, well, let's try things this way, and it doesn't work. It hurts. Let's try this other way. It doesn't work. It hurts. Eventually, you turn the page and you come to the right thing. If you decide to stick with it. As an individual, somebody like you're describing could be smothering to you. That's up to you whether or not you can deal with that. This does suggest to me, though, that the feeling is there, and the question is whether or not the feeling is important enough. The immediate past is the Queen of Cups. It suggests you have a certain amount of control over your emotion, and you've learned over time how to have a certain amount of control over your emotion. There's nothing wrong with having any sort of complex. It's just whether or not that's right with another person, right? You need to be you, and if you're going to stay together, he needs to let you be you. And you need to understand what role he needs to play. And if they don't mesh, they don't mesh. However, this suggests that you have some more say in this than you let on. Like, again, this is so much water. I mean, Your water sign, um, the card about where the best you can get at is, yeah, Scorpios do like that. And that's one of the things about water is you can pour 2 cups of water into 1 cup of water and they fuse. Um, this suggests you're more in control of that water than you let on, though. Even in the past, you've been in situations all the time where you have the ultimate say. You sort of decide what you feel. Most people just feel what they feel. You kind of have a more intellectual input into the way you feel, and you have some control over it. And in the past, that's what you've gotten used to. The immediate future is strength, which is more fiery than watery and might be somewhat alien to you. Um, and actually, the woman is subconscious, and the infinity sign above her head is spiritual, and the lion is subconscious. Um, it suggests that if you stay with this, the immediate future is going to be an incredible learning experience from you. That you're going to learn how to apply everything that you've done so far to reach into your own subconscious. It's less about the relationship and more about how the relationship itself will give you more control over your environment and over the situation with him and over your life in general. I hate to say it, but it almost suggests like you could easily use him. And I don't encourage using people, but it suggests to him like, yeah, it is, Alex. Although I promised you that I would do you one. But we can do that over on Facebook if you like. And sorry, Denise. Um, it seems to me like you have a lot more control in this situation. It seems to me like you have a. I'm glad to hear that. It seems to me like you have a more control in this situation than you think you do. His need to take care of you means that you can point him to what you need and explain it to him, and that he actually is likely to go the way you want him to go, so long as you can make him understand it. And that's going to be harder given how intense he is and how much he wants to fuse. But if you're open with him and you're willing to try different things, and given what you already know about your own sense of self control, you have the ability to shape this. Um, your immediate environment is the Two of Cups, which suggests you say you really do like him. This suggests that you actually love him. And it suggests that he loves you, and that you're in an environment where you can find that. That might be scary for you because that's a hard place for somebody who's completely individual to be. But the other thing about this card is, although the man and the woman are holding hands and they've got the cups, and it's a very committed, loving kind of thing. The other thing there in the center is the symbol of Mercury, which is um, Hermes, the Greek god who was the messenger of the gods. It suggests to me that you guys can reach on a spiritual level too, and that you already sort of are. If you take some time, take some deep breaths, do some meditating, and look for it, you'll see it. Um, your influences is the lovers, which suggests that you want to be in love. Um, hopes and fears are the Nine of Wands. If you look at it right side up, this is a card where peace has been made after a war. And the person is at peace now, but he's battered and he's expecting the fighting to start again. It's inverted, which suggests that that's less than it was. So probably you're afraid that there's going to be some fighting, but it's going to be lesser. It's going to be lower intense fighting. It's not going to be as bad. And the trump card of the reading is the Fool. It suggests disruption. The Fool, it means taking the matter on faith. The Fool is willing to walk off that cliff to see what happens, and that's what you're going to do. And that's what he's going to do. You're both going to make an act of faith and walk off the cliff. The problem is that you're probably going to fall to the bottom of the cliff and be somewhat battered, but that isn't going to necessarily be a bad thing. It could just mean that you've got more unpleasant experiences ahead of you in the near future, but that ultimately they lead to better things. And that's a Celtic Cross. And I think we're pretty much done. No, I haven't seen your messages yet, Alex. I will go look at them now. Okay, I read your messages. I'm sorry, Taylor. I've got to get going. I promised Kira that she could have the last one. However, if you look for my email address below, send me a message, and Taylor, if you send me an email, I'll let you know the next time I'm on. Or if you want to arrange for something in email, that'd be great. What's up, Akira? Oh, Taylor can have yours? Okay. Taylor, if you're still here, what's your question? Well, plus dinner might not be for another hour, Akira, but we can, once we're out of the broadcast, I can do you over on YouTube. Sorry to storm off so quickly, Denise, if you're still here. Looks like you're not, though. Okay, so what's your question, Taylor and Shakira? Since there's only two of you, just whichever one I read is the one I'll answer first. What's coming towards you? I get the Three of Swords, which unfortunately is something hard, something unhappy. It's a heartbreak. I get the impression that heartbreak will be at the hands of the Page of Swords, which is usually a young woman, might be a young man, very smart person, possibly a redhead. So it's hard to tell that in just a couple of cards, but it looks to me like you're looking at an emotional or intellectual pain coming from somebody you know who is a young man or woman, probably woman. Don't know if that resonates with you. If there's anybody who you know who is a smart youngish man and probably woman that you should be on the lookout for. Beware that something negative is coming from that direction. I'm sorry to say things like that. A deep emotional mental pain. So Taylor, if you're still here, do you have a question? You're welcome, Shakira. I'm not sure if Taylor is still here. We've got only the indicator says there's only 2 people in the room. That might be you and Shakira, or it might be you and Taylor, or it might be me and you. So Taylor's probably gone, which would make sense if I, skipped him or her. Well, if Taylor doesn't show up in about a minute, I think that we're going to have to call it quits. And unless you want to ask your question now, Alex. You're a really good moderator. I should have you come on board every time. Although I don't think you can in my Facebook readings unless you join the group I'm in. Although I have to talk to the moderator of the group you're in to see if I can get to be an official reader there. Sure. Are interesting, and those astrological readings that are with the houses are part of a much larger thing called the opening by key, or the opening of the key, which is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 layouts to do the whole reading. It's very intense and it's very deep, and I would charge somebody like $50 for that. What's coming for you is the Knight of Wands. A young man who's horny is on the lookout for you. We already knew that, didn't we? Yeah, I noticed that you had like an enormous number of people that you invited to that group. Anyway, does that answer your question about what's coming? Okay, well, I see we have some newcomers, but I'm afraid we're packing it in right now. And thank those of you who are still here for coming, and thank you, Alex/Akira, for moderating for me, and thank you especially to my donor Denise, and I will be on again some other time. Those of you who subscribe, you'll probably get a notification. So talk to you later. Bye-bye.